Are you gay, bro?
That's the question nobody in the NBA wants thrown at them on camera, but the internet has been throwing it at 12 different players for years now, from John Amaechi, who came out as gay publicly, to Dwight Howard and Kevin Durant, who have been accused of being down low. These are players who have come out as gay. John Amaechi. Before anybody else in the NBA had the guts to do it, there was John Amaechi, a British-Nigerian big man with a soft touch and a sharp mind. Amaechi spent most of the 90s and early 2000s grinding through one of the most macho leagues on the planet, while carrying a secret he couldn't share with a single teammate. Not in the locker room, not on the bus, not at team dinners, not anywhere. His career wasn't superstar level, but it wasn't small either. Amaechi played 294 NBA games across stops with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Orlando Magic, and the Utah Jazz. He averaged 6.2 points and 2.6 rebounds per night, which sounds modest until you remember he was undrafted out of Penn State. The man fought for every single minute he ever got on an NBA floor. He even turned down a $17 million offer from the Lakers to stay in Orlando for around $600,000 a year. Loyalty over money, pride over paychecks. That was Amaechi in a nutshell, the kind of dude who valued the team that took a chance on him more than the cash that came knocking later. But behind the box scores, he was hiding. Locker rooms in the NBA back then weren't safe spaces. They were hyper-masculine war zones where the wrong word could get you exiled and the wrong rumor could end your career. Amaechi later broke down exactly what that culture sounded like.
In the NBA, and as in all sports, homophobic language is du jour. It's part of the vernacular. For all boys, all men who've played sport know that when you do something bad, you're a wuss or a or worse.
That was his daily reality. Every single practice, every single film session, every single road trip. The language Amaechi described wasn't a one-time slip-up. It was the soundtrack of his entire career. So he waited. He played out his career, retired, and then in February of 2007, he dropped the bombshell through ESPN's Outside the Lines and his memoir titled Man in the Middle. He became the first former NBA player to ever come out publicly as gay. The reactions were ugly at first. Tim Hardaway said he'd want a gay teammate removed from his team before later apologizing for the comments, but other names like Grant Hill, Shaq, and Charles Barkley stepped up with real support. Amaechi went on to become a respected psychologist, an OBE recipient for services to sport, and the founder of a youth basketball center in Manchester that's still developing kids to this day. He didn't come out while playing, but he kicked the door open for the man who would. Jason Collins. If Amaechi cracked the door, Jason Collins blew the hinges off. On April 29, 2013, the 12-year NBA veteran walked into the pages of Sports Illustrated and wrote 11 words that changed everything. I'm a 34-year-old NBA center. I'm black and I'm gay. Collins had spent his career as a bruiser, 7 feet tall, 255 pounds, a defensive anchor who reached back-to-back NBA finals with the New Jersey Nets and battled Dwight Howard in the post like it was personal. He wasn't a household name like Kobe or LeBron, but inside the league he was respected. Coaches loved him. Teammates trusted him. He was the kind of guy you wanted setting screens for your stars and taking hard fouls when the game got physical. What nobody knew was the war happening in his head. Sitting down with Good Morning America right after the announcement, Collins described what it felt like to finally stop lying to himself.
You always knew you were gay?
Yeah, it's I sort of describe it as you know that the sky is blue, but you keep telling yourself that it's red.
A VA Bridge here would explain it like this. For decades, Collins was looking at the truth every single day and forcing himself to call it a lie. That kind of psychological gymnastics breaks most people. He survived it. Then he found a way out the other side.
In the beginning, I think they call it like the 12 steps. You go through anger, denial, and all. It's just. But when you finally get to that point of acceptance, there's nothing more beautiful.
He also revealed a hidden signal he'd been sending for an entire season. Collins wore jersey number 98 to honor Matthew Shepard, the gay teenager murdered in a hate crime in Wyoming back in 1998. Every game, every rebound, every foul, he was carrying that memory on his back. Nobody in the arena knew what it meant. He did. That was enough. After coming out, he signed 10-day contracts with the Brooklyn Nets in February and March of 2014, becoming the first openly gay athlete to play in any of the 4 major American men's pro leagues. President Obama called him personally. Kobe Bryant tweeted his support. Nike backed him. Jersey sales funded the Matthew Shepard Foundation and GLSEN. Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world that year. Collins married film producer Brunson Green in 2025. Tragically, in December 2025, he revealed a stage 4 glioblastoma diagnosis after 8 months of treatment, and on May 12, 2026, he passed away peacefully at home at age 47. NBA. Commissioner Adam Silver paid tribute. Players past and present flooded social media with messages. His legacy lives forever as the first man to do it while the ball was still in his hands. Isaac Humphries. Most guys who come out wait until retirement. Isaac Humphries didn't wait. The Australian center, who had a brief 5-game cup of coffee with the Atlanta Hawks back in 2018 after a college run at Kentucky, made history while still actively suiting up for games. In November of 2022, Humphries called a team meeting with his Melbourne United squad in Australia's National Basketball League. Cameras were rolling. Owners were there. Teammates filled the room. What happened next was raw and devastating in a way that hits you square in the chest.
Look, this is going to be probably one of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my life. A few years ago, I fell into a very dark place, a very lonely place.
He kept going, voice trembling, eyes wet, hands gripping the chair like a man holding on for dear life.
I couldn't be who I am, and I attempted to take my life. And the main reason behind me becoming so low and being in that point is because I was very much struggling with my sexuality and coming to terms with the fact that I'm gay.
A bridge here would say it plain. Humphries didn't come out for himself alone. He came out because he knew there were other people out there drowning in the same silence that almost killed him. He used his story as a lifeline for everyone else still trapped. Humphries became the first active, openly gay man in a top-tier men's professional basketball league anywhere on earth. Not just Australia, anywhere. He's still playing, still advocating, still showing up at pride events, still doing interviews about mental health and sexuality in sports. His team responded with full support, and the NBL community rallied around him in ways that proved at least one corner of pro basketball was ready for this. Ajay Ogilvy. The fourth verified name is A.J. Ogilvy, a retired Australian center, 3-time NBL All-First Team selection, and a dominant force for the Illawarra Hawks across 7 seasons after a strong college run at Vanderbilt. The man was a problem in the paint, rebounds, scoring, post moves, the whole package. In January of 2026, during the NBL's 4th annual Pride Round, Ogilvy sat down for an interview with Isaac Humphries and revealed he'd been keeping his life split in 2 for years. He talked about the lack of positive gay role models in basketball growing up. He talked about how seeing Humphries come out gave him the courage to finally do it himself. He talked about how exhausting it was to play one version of himself on the court and another version of himself at home. For a long time, I believed that to be a basketballer, I had to present as straight. That sentence hits hard because that's the silent tax every closeted athlete pays. They don't just hide their truth, they perform a fake one. Every single day, every single interview, every single locker room conversation about girlfriends and weekends. Imagine the mental load. Ogilvy is married now. He's living openly with his partner, and he became the second NBL player ever to come out, following directly in the footsteps of the man interviewing him. Slow progress, but progress that matters, and progress that gives the next closeted player one more reason to believe coming out won't end their world. Dwight Howard. Out of all the rumored cases, Dwight Howard's is the only one with actual paperwork attached to it. The 8-time All-Star and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, who won a championship with the Lakers in 2020, has spent years dodging whispers about his private life. Long before any lawsuit, the rumors were already swirling. Then in 2023, a man named Stephen Harper filed a civil lawsuit alleging that Howard sexually assaulted him during a 2021 threesome attempt at Howard's Georgia home after Harper withdrew consent. Court documents reportedly included text messages where Howard discussed varied sexual activity in graphic detail. Howard denied the assault but admitted under oath that the encounter was consensual sexual activity with the man, while still maintaining publicly that he is not gay. That admission alone was historic in NBA circles. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed in 2024 in Gwinnett County Court. No criminal charges ever followed, but the court filings themselves became the most documented evidence in NBA history of a current or former player admitting to same-sex activity. Howard had already been the subject of rumors for years before the lawsuit, including 2018 accusations of threats and harassment from a man claiming a prior relationship. The pattern was already there. When pressed on camera about whether he's gay, Howard pushed back hard.
Are you gay, bro? Because you went viral off of that, bro.
I've been viral for a lot of things.
And I want to talk about that too.
A bridge here would clarify what Howard said next. He didn't deny being attracted to men. He just said his private life isn't anyone's business. And honestly, that's a fair line to hold for any human being on the planet.
And what I do in my personal life is nobody's business.
So is Howard gay, bisexual, something he hasn't named for himself yet? Officially, he hasn't told us. Unofficially, the court documents told us plenty. The rest is up to him whenever he's ready to talk on his own terms. Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom's rumors are different. The two-time NBA champion and former sixth man of the year hasn't been accused of secret gay relationships. Instead, his name keeps getting linked to transgender women. Back in 2022, social media tied him to Australian trans model Danielle Alexis. Both sides denied any romance, and TMZ confirmed they hadn't even spoken since July of that year. The rumors picked up steam because Odom's ex-mother-in-law is Caitlyn Jenner, one of the most famous transgender women in the world. So when Odom sat down for a podcast interview not too long ago, the question finally came his way. You could feel it coming the entire conversation. The host was clearly building up to it.
Do you think that maybe you'll end up giving trans women a chance due to Caitlyn being such a part of your life?
Trans women a chance as far as the chances.
You could feel the temperature drop in the room. Odom paused, considered it, looked at the host like he couldn't believe the question just got asked on camera, and then he gave an answer that managed to dodge and deflect all at once.
I mean,
They all have a chance.
you gotta follow your heart, right?
A bridge here would tell you what happened next. Odom didn't sit there and explain himself. He didn't laugh it off. He didn't dive into a deeper conversation. He got up and walked out of the interview right then and there.
He walked out! You saw it! You all saw it! He walked out!
So is Odom hiding something? Or is he just tired of invasive questions about his dating life after years of being chewed up by tabloids? The internet wants the first answer. The evidence only supports the second. The man has been through addiction, near-death overdoses, and public divorces. Maybe he just doesn't want to talk about who he might or might not date next. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has been on rumor lists for years, and the reasons are almost entirely circumstantial. He's a two-time NBA champion, a former MVP, currently with the Phoenix Suns, and a successful businessman through his 35 Ventures empire. He's also been single into his mid-30s, which on the internet is somehow treated as evidence of something deeper, as if every bachelor is automatically hiding a secret. The actual record on Durant is contradictory in a way that makes the rumor mill spin even harder. In 2017, he publicly supported out-gay NBA executive Rick Welts during a Pride event, and Nike released KD Pride-themed shoes with his name on them. That looked like solid allyship from a top star. Then, in 2021, his private Instagram messages to comedian Michael Rappaport leaked. The language inside was some of the most graphic anti-gay slurs ever attributed to a pro athlete, according to Outsports. Durant apologized publicly, saying he regretted that the messages went public. Stephen A. Smith addressed the leak directly on his show, calling out both sides of the beef in his classic Stephen A. fashion. A bridge here would point out the irony. The leak was supposed to embarrass Durant. Instead, it became fuel for the rumor mill that he was overcompensating. The cycle never ends. People wanted to read it as a man protesting too much. That's not evidence. That's pop psychology with no foundation. Facebook pages have been pushing Kevin Durant comes out as gay posts well into 2026, tying it to his single status and lack of public girlfriend. None of it is real. There's no lawsuit, no ex, no leaked messages with evidence of any romantic or sexual relationship with another man. Just speculation built on privacy. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has the rumor with the most specific allegation, but the receipts were wiped clean before anyone could verify them. The former #1 overall pick, now with the Brooklyn Nets after his messy 76ers exit, got hit with a story in February of 2021 that lit forums on fire for weeks. A transgender Instagram model going by Amani posted what she claimed were direct message screenshots from Simmons. According to her since deleted posts, Simmons wanted to fly her out and share her with 4 or 5 teammates. She claimed she had nudes from him. She hinted at a longer relationship that went beyond just a few messages. Then the posts vanished. Gossip outlets like Clutch Points picked the story up before the screenshots disappeared, but the original evidence was gone within hours. Simmons never publicly addressed the claims. His camp said nothing. No follow-up evidence ever surfaced from any other source. The model had previously been linked to other celebrities, including rappers, which made some people question her credibility from jump. Beyond that one moment, Simmons gets thrown into rumor lists because of his close friendships with men like Taj Malone and Alex Subers. Forum users on sites like Lipstick Alley have described those bonds as feeling odd or too constant. That's not evidence. That's just two guys being friends, and the internet refusing to believe straight men can be close with each other without something more going on. So what's the verdict on Simmons? One deleted Instagram post from 2021, and a lot of armchair speculation about who he hangs out with at dinner. That's the entire case the internet has built around him. Rudy Gobert. If you've ever wondered how rumors spread with absolutely no fuel, look at Rudy Gobert. The four-time Defensive Player of the Year, currently with the Minnesota Timberwolves, gets dropped into secretly gay YouTube videos as basic filler. He shows up on these lists for no reason at all. When you actually search for evidence on Gobert, you find almost nothing. Truly nothing. No lawsuits, no ex-partners, no leaked messages, no model claims, no deleted posts, no insider whispers from reputable journalists. The man is in a public relationship with his girlfriend Julia Bonilla, and the only rumors he's ever directly addressed have been about that relationship status, not his sexuality. He even pushed back on inaccurate reports about how things were going between them. A bridge here would explain the dynamic. Clickbait creators need 10 or 12 names to fill a list. Some names come with actual stories like Howard's. Others get added because they're famous enough to drive views. Gobert falls into category 2 without question. He's tall, he's French, he's outspoken about things like COVID protocols. He's polarizing online for reasons that have nothing to do with sexuality. So content farms throw his name on a thumbnail because his face moves clicks. That's it. That's the whole formula. There is no rumor here. There's just a name and a thumbnail and a content creator hoping you'll click through and never check the sources. Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson is a strange case to include on any gay rumor list because his off-court drama is almost entirely about heterosexual relationships gone wrong. The former #1 pick has been dragged through one woman-related scandal after another, and it's been a non-stop circus for years now. In 2023, adult film star Mariah Mills publicly accused him of cheating while his then-girlfriend announced a pregnancy. She threatened to leak content of their alleged encounters. Then in 2025, a civil lawsuit hit Williamson from a Jane Doe accusing him of rape and years of sexual, physical, emotional, and financial abuse stemming from a relationship that allegedly started at Duke back in 2018. His team called it a consensual, casual situation with clear financial motives behind the suit. By 2026, an OnlyFans model named Alyssa Alcantar, known online as DopaChick69, was demanding paternity testing and claiming possible fatherhood. Former players like Tim Hardaway and Lindsey Hunter have publicly speculated that Zion has compulsive sexual behavior or sex addiction patterns with adult entertainers and OnlyFans creators specifically. So where does the gay rumor come from? A handful of low-quality YouTube shorts have vaguely mentioned leaked messages or photos with a transgender man, and one even claims Mariah Mills hinted at feminine behaviors from Zion. Zero details, zero sources, zero follow-up, zero credibility. Pure thumbnail bait designed to lump him in with everyone else. Zion's documented issues are all about women. The gay rumors are tacked on filler from rumor mills trying to bundle every black NBA star into one neat package for clickbait purposes. The story doesn't fit the player. Ray Allen. Ray Allen's story is wild because there's actual paperwork, but the paperwork tells a very different story than the rumor implies. The Hall of Famer and two-time NBA champion, married with children, got pulled into a strange legal battle in 2017 with a UCF staffer named Bryant Coleman. Coleman claimed he had a 3-year gay romantic and sexual online relationship with Allen and accused the retired star of stalking and threatening him after a breakup gone bad. He filed for an emergency restraining order. Allen filed back with counterclaims. The retired star said the entire thing was a fabrication from start to finish. According to Allen, Coleman had catfished him by presenting as a woman online. They had never even met in person, according to some reports of the case. Allen and his legal team called the gay relationship claim a complete fabrication, and the case eventually faded from headlines, likely settled privately behind closed doors. Allen has spoken positively about gay teammates in general interviews over the years, taking the position that a player's job is to come in and do their job, period, regardless of who they love at home. So, is Ray Allen gay? The actual case suggests he was a victim of an online deception scheme, not a closeted athlete in any sense. But because the word gay appeared in the headlines back in 2017, his name gets recycled into rumor lists forever. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.